Alright everybody, here we are, and just give me a second, let me make sure everything's up and running, and then we'll be going ahead. Alrighty, I think it's gonna be fine. Let me turn it off. Okay, so what we are gonna do here in today's class, that's gonna be pretty much simple. Our goal is going to be simply revising the notes. So week number 18, week number 19, and week number 20. Ultimately, week number 20 that contains two notes actually. There are two parts of that in fact. So if I actually set the context in here, so in this particular live, we will try our level best to just go through all those notes, and then once that's done, then we'll be going ahead. As simple as that. Most of the things are already done. Even I have learned quite kind of okay about the authentication as well, though it's not done yet. But especially if I want to go ahead and learn more things about Next.js, before that I need to make sure I have revised all the notes. So this is gonna be the time to get that particular thing done. And apart from that thing, if we needed to actually write some code, so we will be creating another summary app and or something like that, and we will be writing our code in that. It's gonna be as simple as that. And this time, as far as the notes are actually concerned, so they are here actually. And let's go to week number 18 first of all, and this is how we'll be going ahead. So web dev week 18, WebSocket, Postgres. Okay, I have quite good knowledge about them. Even let's go through the notes, and then we'll see the other things. Then the next job is gonna be maybe how many things are remaining. Yeah, let's have a look at it. Next.js video. This is something that I have already watched, so I don't need to worry about this particular thing. Next, I'm going to revise all these things, and after that deploying the projects online. So I have to work on deploying the projects online, and once this is done, then I have to start working on the Brandly project. So these are gonna be primary things to do. Okay, once my primary focus is going to be on these things. Once this thing is done, then I may be going with other things as well. But as I have gone through quite more than half, I've learned more than I have already gone. Yeah, I can say I have already learned more than half of the things that I was supposed to learn. So it's time to just simply work on the projects rather than focusing on learning more and more. Let's simply remove this thing from here, not really needed for now. Even not this one, not this one, and let it be here for now. Let's go through this one. So first of all, Prisma, don't really need to worry about it. This is the note of that. Let's have a look at it. So here we are mainly talking about it. I can't really show it to you guys. You can just simply search it online and have a look at the page that I'm having a look at right now. I think type safety and all, I have already gone through it. Okay, interesting. These are the things that I went through this Prisma section. That means the notes of this Prisma has already been gone through. So I don't need to really worry about this particular thing. I hope the mic is on and my voice is actually getting recorded here. So this thing is done. Okay, so this thing is done. I don't need to worry about this particular thing. Let's go through the next one. So Prisma is done, and apart from this Prisma, there are some extra things that I've written here: DBMS database management system and RDBMS relational database management system. By the way, what are these? I think relational database versus. Should I actually go with that? Oh, DBMS database management, DB database management system versus RDBMS. Let's see. DBMS is a broad term for system that manages databases, while RDBMS is a specific type of DBMS that stores data in tables with a relationship between them. Alright, a relational database management system. So database management system is the broad term, and relational database manages the finer version of that. Ultimately, that is quite niche specific thing, that means the kind of data where data is stored in table formats, and they are connected in using primary keys and foreign keys, something like that. Then this is the then atomicity, acid atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability, and all whatever. OREMs, object relational mapping. This is all about OREMs, and I got that OREMs. ORMs means that Mongoose, Postgres. These are the things that we have. Even we have Postgres. Postgres is the database. So here Prisma we have, Mongoose we have for MongoDB. Okay. And then the Prisma code that we have written here, and nothing difficult if I'm not wrong. Just Prisma initialize it and get the things done. Seems to be easy. Prisma with Express, not really worried. A to-do application that I actually created, and few extra things are there. So okay, we'll be having a look at that. I don't really need to look at this to-do application, was created by me, so I'm okay with this. Go through this one. One configuration property package is deprecated will be removed in Prisma 7. Please migrate to Prisma config.ts. Well, this was the error that I actually got. Not quite sure exactly what this is right now. Let's remove it while working on Prisma. If I face this error again, I will be just looking at it. These are the commands, the basic commands that are used. And after that, types of relationships, that's okay. One to one, one to many, many to one, many to many. That's all right. I'm not really worried about it. Helper code. This is simply the helper code. This is how the models are being created. I have created 2 models over here. That's all right. And that's it. I don't really need to worry about anything else apart from it. npm.js. What is this, by the way? SHX. This is a package for copying the things here and there. Oh, guess what? It is like that. So I can just simply copy one particular file to another just using this one. I have used even this thing, so that's not a big problem. Let's remove it from here. And for now, we are done with this Prisma thing. The second one is Next.js, and this thing, first of all, this is the common configuration for using a Next.js, and this is a JSON placeholder website from where we can get the data for free, like a backend. So we can just call, if send request to the backend, we can get the data. Benefit of using Next.js, pretty much easy, no order following. Okay, easy to set right, file-based routing, file-based layout, everything is simply file-based. So ultimately benefits is gonna be like this. Everything, most doesn't matter, even if you talk about authentication, that is file-based. So everything, not everything, but I can say most of the things are file-based, as simple as that. Then here we have this, I had better just do one thing. This is the website Brainly project, if I'm not wrong. Okay, the Brainly project that we actually have to work on, and this is something that is for that Brainly. Yeah, build your second brain. If I just click on home, I can even sign up, enter the username and password. Okay, let's see. So this is what the username and password we can enter in there. Let's see how it's gonna look like. First of all, we have to sign up. Hope it's gonna be fine. Guess what? Yeah. So this is how somewhat project we have to create. So we will be working on this one. Let's not worry about this too much in here. But yeah, I would like to do one thing. We can definitely go through that. First of all, let's duplicate this page, and after duplicating it, where's the link? How can I? Okay, I duplicate, copy link to original, copy link to blog, link to original, link is copied. Let's paste the link in here. So this is the link. Let me do one thing. Let's go in here, coding the code, brainstorming projects. I think this is it, not really this one. Let's go in here, cohort, web dev. Oh, that's bad. I hope I'm doing most important topics. Projects, brainstorming, coding the code. Should be here somewhere. Let's go coding the code. Am I going to get it there on the top of the screen? Not really. Where am I going to get the projects that I had? What? Have I deleted it by mistake? I'm sure that I have deleted it. I'm actually not getting that. Yes, important topics or brainstorming project course. Let me check this particular feature. There is that trash. I hope I haven't deleted that yet, otherwise I'll have to just get that back. So learning Next.JS, Prisma, books, not really YouTube description, units, good to know, really important. Good to know, I have deleted it. This thing, restore it. And I deleted some of the files by mistake, and right now I'll have to recover them. Really important, this is the code section, units and dimensions, come on. Well, I think I should not be getting it where I'm actually getting it. Never mind. YouTube remaining things are okay. Yep. So let's see where we are actually getting it. Coding the code. Guess what? There's really nothing inside this. How about this brainstorming thing? Well, this doesn't look good. YouTube box Prisma. Okay, I just moved it from there to here, and now I'm not getting that again. I hope I'll get it in the same folder where it was earlier, webdev, and yeah, this is where we are actually getting it. This was accidentally deleted. Okay, here we have a few things regarding Brainly. I can add one more thing, and that's gonna be web. So ultimately I will have two references to look at. This thing is done, so ultimately I can remove it from here at least. Okay, this is the same page, it needs to be removed. So this thing is done. Apart from this particular thing, we have to go through this node, this particular page, and we have to make sure whether everything I have gone through clearly or not. Okay, yes, so let's see if there are few things that I think are important. I will be mentioning in here. So okay, this is not good. Okay, let's start the things from here. The first thing is that Next.js intro prerequisites. Okay, you need to understand basic front-end before proceeding to this track. You need to know what a React is and how you can create a simple application. Okay, we know it. Next.js was a framework that was introduced because of some minor inconveniences in React. In React project, you have to maintain a separate backend project for your API rights. It is clear on React React is merely a front-end framework, so this is obvious. React does not provide out-of-the-box routing. You have to use React Router DOM, and merely right now that is React Router. But in Next.js, that everything is file-based. That means we can easily create the routes. React is not SEO optimized because first of all, it simply renders an empty. It simply renders an empty HTML page, and then the request goes to the backend to get the script, and then again goes to the backend to get the data and all. So this is how it goes. Not exactly true today because the React server components, well, this is not quite true, especially right now. There's something called React server components. Okay, we'll discuss soon. React server component. Okay, waterfall problem is simple because suppose first of all the page comes, then you send the request to get the script, then you send the request to get the some kind of data. So it just goes like that. SEO optimization. Google Bing has a bunch of crawlers that hit websites and figure out what the website does. Okay, suppose you created a website, then you actually need, especially how Google or any platform knows about your content. It simply goes through the at least home page of the website and then figures out what this website is related to. For now, let's simply search crawlers on the internet. Crawlers SEO, and let's read about them. In SEO, crawlers are automated programs, also called bots or spiders, that systematically browse the internet to discover and index web pages. Ultimately, crawlers are kind of bots, or we can call them spiders too. They simply surf the internet or browse the internet to know the type of the website or the content of the website. As simple as that. It ranks it on Google based on HTML it gets back. So ultimately, crawlers are bots which actually surf the internet, browse the internet to know the type of the website, the content of the website, and then they rank the website as per that content they get. But what happens that in React only the HTML, an empty HTML page comes, so the crawlers are gonna have no idea about that empty page, like what kind of ultimately niche that page is related to. And then if there's no reference to the page, especially to that empty page, so how will they be able to actually rank the page in that particular niche? It's something like that. The crawlers don't usually run your JS and render your page to see the final output, and that is true. Mainly in React, you just get the empty page, then you send a request to get the script. Crawlers do not run that script to get the data back from your backend. So that is why it's really hard for crawlers to rank your website if your website is simply using React. You can simply create HTML, CSS, JavaScript page, or you can create a Next.js home page. It's simple. While Googlebot can run JavaScript, dynamically generated content is harder for the scraper to index. Okay, try visiting React. What does the Googlebot get back when they visit a website written in React? Well, simply page with a div that has an ID called root. Try visiting this. Okay, Googlebot has no idea on what the page is, what the project is. It says y plus react plus ts in the original HTML responses. Of course, when the JS file loads, eventually things get rendered, but Googlebot doesn't discover this content very well. That is right. Even if the things get rendered at the end, but Googlebot, we call them crawlers, we call them spiders, they don't really have the capability, or they don't really run that script and then get the content and then check the type of your website. It's simply if there's content, they'll know. That's it. Okay, waterfalling problem. Let's say you build a blogging website in React. What steps do you think request cycle takes? This is the blogging website. Okay. So ultimately, I get an index.html file, then I get the script, then I send a request again, and then get the blocks and all. Fetching the index HTML from the CDN, fetching a script from the CDN, checking if user is logged in. If not, redirect them to login page. That's right. Using /me mainly. Fetching the actual blocks. That's true. There are 4 round trips that happen one after the other sequentially. The waterfalling problem in React and more broadly in web development refers to a scenario where data fetching operations are chained or dependent on each other in a way that leads to inefficient loading behavior. So ultimately, waterfall problem is it simply leads to insufficient behavior, insufficient response. It is insufficient, as simple as that. It is not efficient. because first of all you have to get the page, then you have to get the script, then you have to get then you have to check whether it is authenticated or not, the user is logged in or not. Even if you are not checking that, you haven't implemented authentication, forget about even that, then you need to send a request to get the data back. So ultimately there are going to be 3 requests minimum, maximum can be 4 or maybe more than that. What does Next.js provide you? It's simple. It gives Next.js mainly does the server side rendering. That means it renders everything on the server side and then gives you the whole HTML. So whenever you get an HTML page on the front end, that already has the content in it, and once it has the content, even crawlers can simply have a look at the content and they know exactly what kind of page this is, what information it contains, and on the basis of it they can actually rank that particular website, because they simply go through the home page most of the time. If your home page already contains everything about the website, then there's nothing else to worry about. Having said that, even Next.js as well as React.js, both of them run. They can run on the server. Mainly React.js runs on the client side. There is a client framework. Ultimately, front-end framework. When talking about Next.js, this can run the code on the client side as well as the server side. Even if we are using use client, this particular feature, like there is a feature in Next.js and that is use client. So even if we use that, still the code is running on the server side only. So if you suppose you are using a use client, you are thinking that okay, the code is gonna run on the front end side, ultimately on the browser. But if you actually have a look at that, so ultimately first of all you are getting a basic HTML file that has no logic in it. So the first thing, ultimately firstly it runs on the server side, then it sends the basic HTML, then ultimately you have that basic HTML even if you are using use client, and then you get the script.js, and that script runs on that particular page, and then whatever the function you have, whatever functions you have used in that particular website, they run. So ultimately it doesn't matter whether you are using server side rendering, not server side rendering in Next.js, whether you are using the server side or client side. In both the cases they are rendered on the client server side first, and then they come to the client side, as simple as that. Okay, next JS offerings. So Next.js provides you following upsides over React. Server side rendering gets rid of SEO problems. API route single code base with the front end and back end. That's right. File based routing, no need for React router DOM. Bundle size optimization, static bundle size optimizations, static site generation. Static site means if something does not change, so they can, in mainly Next.js handles first of all render them on the server side, and they are called static side because nothing changes in there. So first of all they are rendered on the server side, and ultimately then they are simply sent to the front end to display, as simple as that. And static site generation means Next.js actually generate these things. So whenever you build it, so if you run npm run build, so Next.js will actually generate static sites, static pages in the form of HTML pages. So there can be like index.html, there can be like signup.html. So Next.js build all these pages and nothing changes in these pages. So it's best to re-render, render them on the server side, and then simply send the code to the front end to render just once, as simple as that. Having said that, it usually takes time. When you just run npm run build, it takes some time to just build that, because you are generating static site files too. You are generating those files, so it may take some time. But once they are generated, because nothing changes in those files, if there's a suppose homepage.tsx, if there's a signup.tsx, if nothing changes in them, they need to be generated only once, and then they can be simply displayed on the displayed on the page anytime, right? Because nothing changes and they are already ready. Maintained by the Vercel team. Next.js is maintained by the Vercel team. It's a server running that does the server side rendering, and hence is expensive. very opinionated, very hard to move out of. That means if you actually want to learn Next.js, learn React first and then learn Next.js. As simple as that. So it does have downsides too. So these are the benefits, by the way. Upsides, ultimately, I can say. So okay, these are gonna be upsides of Next.js. Well, and the another thing is that if something has benefits, so no doubt there are gonna be some disadvantages as well. So if I talk about downsides, so come on, do they have the same? Okay, downsides, it should be actually th1 downsides. So let's talk about the downsides, exactly what kind of downsides it has. So there are only two things. First of all, it is expensive because most of the things are run on server side. This is the first thing. And then React can be distributed via CDN, and some few things. CDN works on Next.js as well, but not that much. So ultimately, yeah, we can get this functionality implemented, but mostly CDN is React is famous for CDN thing and all. So these things are done, upsides and downsides. Now we can just simply go ahead. Let's bootstrap a simple project, next project. Okay, npm create next app. Okay, this is how the app is ultimately created. And latest the other things using npm install. Then we have app, we have next config, we have tailpin config, next config, next config mjs next configuration file. Okay, if we actually have a look at the file of our application, so first of all we have this thing in here. I think this is the one, next.config.ts. Next.config, it simply tells that it is Next.js configuration. Then we have tailwind config, so I think we don't really have that. We have post.css config. So there are three configuration files that we have over here. First one is config is linked config. Second one is Next.js config, and third one is post.css config. That most there's one more TS config for TypeScript and all. So yeah, it has many configuration files. Tailwind config, tailwind configurations. App contains all your code components, layouts, routes, APIs. Bootstrap the project, remove everything from app page.asx, run and embed div, remove the css bits, not the tailwind headers, from the global css file. Remove the css bits, not the tailwind headers, from the global. There's a file called global css files. Let's have a look at that. This is the one. And from here I'm supposed to remove the tailwind css file. Okay, the not really that. It can be remove the css bits. So how about removing this? Not removing this, how about removing the whole? Because if I look at the layout right now, it simply shows that I can't find a modular declarations for side effect or import of this. How about if I actually remove this? Will I still get this error? Yeah. This is the extra design that it has, and you can actually remove it, and you can just simply import tailwind css. But for now, let this thing be here. And apart from this particular thing, as per the error that I'm getting here, can't find a module. How can I fix this? Quick fix. Can't find a module or type declarations for side effect. Import of global. This is the css. It should be fine, I think. Global. Okay, we are not getting that. That's okay. Global. Globals.css should be fine, but the thing is that it is unable to find them. That's all right. Though we are using TypeScript, so this error we are getting, it needs to be fixed. First of all, let's explain the problem. First of all, understand about the problem, and thank God we have AI for this. And then we'll be going ahead. Enable Claude Sonnet 3.5. Okay, I'll have to enable it. Come on. Okay. I do wanna know about this error. Okay, this error occurs when TypeScript can't find the type declarations for CSS imports. This is common in CSS projects when importing global CSS files. Here's how quickly. Declare module. Okay, we are declaring this module. Anything appended by .css content is equal to class name string. The type of is gonna be string. Export default. What will this do? Compiler options. Make sure you go imports in the correct location in your layout. Oh, first create a TypeScript declaration file for CSS modules. Well, this went completely over my head. How can I solve this problem? Can I take the help of AI? Let's see how it actually solves it. So I wanna fix the problem. How to fix it? Ultimately, I hope I'm gonna get the same response. Enable clause on it. Okay, come on, are you kidding me? Okay, view in chat. This is it. To fix the CSS module import error, you need to add a declaration file for CSS modules in your project. Where and how to this. Let's see if we can actually get rid of it. Otherwise, we'll have to just think of another. Why is it asking me to just enable it over and over? I'll help you create a type declaration file for CSS modules in a project. Let me create this file. Now let's check your existing TS configuration. Okay, TS configuration, this one. Okay, let's see. File for CSS modules in a project. Let me create this file. Now let's check. Okay, TS config to sure includes. Wanna check this file out. And has it added it or not? The TS config already includes this in the include array. So where is the include array? This is the include array, and it is saying that it already includes this .ts. I'm worried about CSS, right? Which means if it will automatically pick up our new ts types.d file. You don't need to modify TS configuration. Try restarting your TypeScript server in VS Code to pick up the new Control Shift P. Okay, you got to be kidding me. Let's see. Reload it. Guess what? I am sure I will still get the error, or I'm not gonna get. I'm not getting that. And how did this thing happen? Some way or the other, it simply solved the problem. What actually changed here in this file, I need to figure out in this file actually. Okay, insane. The problem has been solved. That means ultimately I'm not getting an error over there. Okay, this is something that is created, and because of this particular module I'm not getting the error. Const content, class name string, type of string. This completely went over my head, but okay, because doesn't matter. Even if I look at other projects too, I will get the same error. So this is the page that I'm managing. Layout, this is the layout that's been being used in. Okay, this is where I'm getting the same error, and it's showing the same thing. So if I try to fix it, I'll have to go with the same process. Ultimately, I will have to create a type file for that, the way I have done in here. Types.d.ps. Interesting. When you are using TypeScript, this is the most important thing. Okay, by the way, let's get this one. Ultimately, it will help me resolve the problem. I'd like to know more about this particular error, but not by taking the help of AI, rather than searching this thing online. Because if I got it online, that means the next time I face this error, I can find it again. but taking the help of AI doesn't really sound good. Let's see. I hope Stack Overflow is gonna help me with this. Can't find okay. Can't find module tablet side effect of okay. Is there something that is helpful? Not really. I think should be there. Okay, let's do one thing. One step backward. Okay. Module not found. What is your problem now? Okay, you are importing style global.css. Importing it directly. Module not found, can't resolve style. Okay, for that. It's probably the rest of the CSS device we need combination. It's better to clear the types right now. Would be better, really great. Any let's see. No, I know that by creating that type file the problem is going to be resolved, but someone or the other must have mentioned this thing online too. Like there's one thing I'm leaving here. Let's see if we can actually find it out. Import at the dataset inside index. Crazy. Don't forget to mark as answered so the people. I don't think it's even possible. Declare module and this thing. Create a declaration file in your project source directory. Create a new file globals.d.ts or ccs. Okay. Add declaration file. Will this work? Will it actually work? So in this one, suppose I'm getting that error, and it's merely asking me to do this thing. So suppose this file is created and declare module.css. Will it work? It did. So we have to simply, what does this actually do? Though I have gotten rid of the problem again. The error can't file module or type declaration for side effect imported. This in a Next.js application with TypeScript indicates the TypeScript cannot find the type definitions for the imported CSS file. This is common issue because TypeScript by default expects type declarations for all imported modules including non-code files like CSS. To resolve this, you need to provide a type declaration for CSS module. Ultimately, we need to provide the type declaration. So this is how we are declaring it. This declaration informs TypeScript that any import ending in .css is a valid module and that it should not expect specific type declarations for it. Ultimately, we are declaring a module in here, and it simply specifies that files ending with .css, it should not expect any type from these files because these are CSS files. Restart your development. Okay, got that. I need to keep this particular thing in mind, otherwise I'm just away from a Google search. That's it. Oh yes. Okay, this thing is done. Okay, bootstrap, this particular thing is done. Next one. I think it's gonna take time. I never thought it would take this much time, but never mind. Understanding routing in Next.js. That's pretty much simple. Routing in React. We have to use a user router, and then we have to install routes. Get the routes, browse router, route everything, and then this is how it works. Next.js has a file-based router. This means that the way you create your files describes what renders on a route. So ultimately, the way you actually define the things on a file-based manner in Next.js, that is mainly the thing that plays a role. By the way, layouts and pages. Next.js uses a file system based routing, meaning you can use folders and files to define routes. This page will guide you through the creating page. You have create app, inside app you are creating page, Ultimately this is going to the home page. Creating layout, if you want to create layout, okay, the layout of the page, that's all right. Creating nested layout, so you can create blog, you can create slug. Slug is mainly for the ID. Leaf segments. Here we have app, we have layout for the this page, then we have blog, so app/blog dot page, that's all right, would work better. And then we have a slug, that means blog/anything will come under this slug, and that particular and that particular mainly an ID, and slug is gonna be work as an ID over here. I will go through the page over all. Should I go through it properly? Like I'm just going through the main points, I'm understanding them, so it's okay. What is the full form of slug here? In fact, slug leaf segment, leaf segments, these are mainly for IDs, kind of parameters. Never mind. So this is how we go ahead, blog/slug. Even it is simply saying this is slash, this is /blog, this is /blog/slug. Ultimately anything you can keep it there, and that will be will be available as params. Then nesting layouts we have, so app we have here, layout we have here. Nesting layouts we are talking about, so this is the layout for this page, and this is the layout for this page. Slug does not have any layout. Creating a dynamic segment, creating a dynamic segment, dynamic segment, blog post params, promise flag, await params. That's right. Okay, apart from this particular thing, search params. Wow, it could be an array. Interesting. And an array can have a key, and that key is going to be type of string, and that may be a string, or that may be an array, or that may be undefined. Wow. Linking between pages, you just need just the way we have anchor text in normal HTML, we have link in here, and that works exactly the same. Don't really need to worry about that. Route props helpers, props dot params. I think we have to await them. So we mainly get the props. We can destructure those props too. We can directly get the params in here, and they're gonna be page props, and the type of page prop is gonna be this. Got that. Section when is okay, it's about to end. We have props, and these are layout props, and then / dashboard, and then we are getting props.children. Good to know. Static routes resolve params, page props, layout props, or global helpers. No imports required. The types are generated using .next.dev, next.build, next.type. Whatever, we have gone through it once. It's time to simply go ahead. This means that the way you create your files describes what renders on a route. Let's add a route folder app called sign up. Let's add a file. I have to just go through it. I have already done it. Don't really have time to do all these things. By the way, I can just simply run npm run dev and then sign up. I will get that. This is the thing. Assignment. Can you add a sign in route? No doubt we can add that. I can add that. Forget about the we can add that. Let's go ahead. Prettify the sign in page. This is mainly for prettifying the sign in page. We have label, and we have input, label input interface. This is the interface. Then we have a label, we have an input, and then ultimately we are sending the things in here, and this looks something like that. Pretty good. Okay, server side rendering. Let's try exploring the response from the server on the sign up route. Okay, npm run dev, the project will run. I can visit the site. Now if Googlebot tries to scrape your page, it will understand that this is a sign up page without running any JavaScript. Ultimately, mainly in Next.js you get it. So yeah, the first index HTML file file it gets back will have context about the page since it was server side rendered. Oh. You'll notice a file in your app folder called layout. Let's see what it does. I know about layout already. Layouts in sub routes. We can create a layout in there too. That's okay. Merging routes, merging them, meaning. Okay. Move the both sign in, sign up, and sign on the layout. You can access the set this or this approach. You can use create a new folder, and this folder is ignored by the router. You can access this directly. Components directly. You should put all your components in a components directory and use them in app routes rather than showing everything in a route, and create a new folder called components in the root of the project. The root of the project is that, so ouch, come on. Talking about the root of the folder, so this is the root of the project. In here we actually have to create that. Add new component there called sign.tsx. Move the sign in logic there, render sign in page, so it will be like app auth sign in page.tsx solution component sign. Add that component sign. Okay, will work better. Okay, add a button on click, and so button click, a user clicked on sign in type and all these other things that you now try adding on click handler to button. You'll notice this thing. Event handlers cannot be passed to client component props button on click function type class name. If you need any consider converting part of this to a client component. So that is a server component if I'm not wrong. What do you think this is happening here? Client and server components. Yeah, that's right. Next.js expects you to identify all your components as either client or server, as the name suggests. But having said that, our main focus is going to be on server components. Server components are rendered on server. Client components are pre-rendered and are pushed to the client to be render again. By default, all components are server components. If you want to mark a component as a client component, you need to add the following to the top of the component. Use client. When you should you create client component? Whenever you get an error that tells you that you need to create a client component. Whenever you are using something that server doesn't understand, use use state or on click. The rule of thumb is to defer the client component as much as possible. Try updating components. I need to make it a client component. You will notice the error goes away. Some nice readings. Client components having server rendered children. Client string. Oh wow, server client server client. Oh, does it happen like that too? It is done through so-called composition technique. A client component can have a slot for children. Later on, when you create the client components elements via client component, you can store a server component. Okay, don't really need it much. But ultimately, day 18, week 18, that's done now. Just the basic knowledge is enough. Even I have more than that. Should be proud of that thing, shouldn't I? So this is the thing that we have gone through. We have gone through this proper node, and I don't really need to worry about anything. Mainly we discussed about layouts, we discussed about routing, we discussed about client side component, server side component, and what else. Add a cover. Let's see what we get here. Oh, I like it. Guess what? This is done. This is done. Don't really need to worry about it. Let's go ahead. Project ID. It's 5:23. I'll actually have to go, but before that, let's start going through the another thing. Project ideas to work on. Not really worried about it. Let's go to this thing. Next.js. This particular thing have been gone through. The another thing that is remaining, that is 18 is done, needs to be gone through, but I have already gone through it, so let's remove it from here. That's done for now. Let's go in here. Then the next one is Next.js 19, and we have learnt about this website using HTML, CSS, JS or Next.js. Best for SEO. It stands for what does SEO stands for? Search engine optimization. Other pages can be either in React or Next.js. That's right. So we have these notes, waterfalling problem. I have to read it. I have to go through it. I have to go through them. Come on. I got this website just searching. I already know waterfall problem. We have some key points in here, and they are like user loading. So ultimately, this is how we create the routes. Okay. Then what is this is about? What do we do in here? Okay, this code is being run or executed on the backend side, not on the client side. That is right. Full HTML is rendered to the front end from the backend. That's right. Don't use effect like you did in React. Otherwise, you will have to run it on the client side. Use client. Thus, the waterfall problem will occur. Wow. Good way. Okay, there are two ways. Excuse me. We will try to use a link most of the times. Then of course use use navigate is going to be used at times too. Use router, and then we get router, and then router dot push somewhere, and then we just simply push it. And in React we had use navigation. We used to get navigate, and then wherever you want to navigate. If you don't believe me, React router, I'll show you this right here. Over there in Next.js we are getting a React router, right? But in here we had something called navigating, something called use navigate, and it used to be used like this. And in here we used to just simply say navigate and then the name. But on Next.js we are saying router dot push and then the name. Wow. So guess what? This is done. Don't really need to worry about anything. Some key points done for now at this. SSR, server side rendering, CSR, let's make it H1, CSR, client side rendering, learning the shortcuts. Interesting. And then this is the node that I have to go through, so let's keep it here. Backend in Next.js. So far we have been talking about, mainly in the first class I learned about the front end in Next.js, how it's actually been made. Then now I'm going to talk about the backend, API/v1/whatever, route.tsx. And this is what we'll be just going through this thing in this particular thing, Next.js, and that's what we actually mentioned in here. That's okay. Guess what? What time? How long has it been? It's been 54 minutes. That's pretty good. But this time I would have to actually leave. So I'm gonna be back within 20 minutes or something. I can do one thing, and what is that thing? Should I do that actually or not? Should I set the timer and then go and get that back and done? First thing is this. Or should I do something else? For now, let's set a timer. Setting a timer is a good way to just come back. If I go without letting you guys know exactly when I'm gonna come back, that means I'm gonna come really late. It's better to simply set a timer and then be back when the timer gets over. So max to max. Got another work to do. Okay, so max to max, it should take around 20 minutes. I should be back. So let's do it and then go there, come back as soon as possible. Here we go. I hope I'll be back within 20 minutes. Let's see. I'll try my level best to be back within 20 minutes, or let's see how long it's gonna take. So here we are. And
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Whew, it's quite. Come on. We are back. Not I am back, and I'm quite perspiring a lot. Just came from outside. It actually took maybe 2 to 3 minutes extra. That's all right. I'll keep that in mind. Ultimately, it takes me about 25 minutes to come back from outside. Ultimately, from the market. By the way, never mind. I didn't want to stop end this live just because I was leaving, because if it is on, that means I have to come back as soon as possible. But if it is not on, then God knows when. By the way, as I'm back, so let's simply go ahead. I hope my voice is getting recorded. And let's make it like this. Suppose I started a live, right? I went in a live. Then in that live, at least one particular thing should be completed. There should be a goal of that live, like this is the goal of this live, and this live would only end when that particular goal is achieved. Otherwise, it would keep going on. Having said that, I will keep taking proper breaks in between. If there is even a work, I will go for that work. I will get that done as soon as possible. Then I'll come back, and I'll before even going there, I would have set the timer. Like in this particular period, I'll be back. As simple as that. By the way, here we are, and we are going to revise the day 19. So I have a note. I have notes of day 19. I'm gonna be revising that. So let's actually work on it. So Next.js is a full stack framework, that is for sure. React is a front end framework, whereas Next.js is a full stack framework. This means the same process can handle front end and back end code. That is true. So ultimately, we can handle the front end code, we can handle the back end code. This is how it's gonna be done. Why? Single code base for all your code base, single code base for all your code base, no course issues, single domain name for your backend framework, front end, ease of deployment, deploy a single code base. Yeah, that's right. You know what? There has been a time in my life where when I actually did not have any idea about this front end and back end thing. So there was a website, and I was actually looking for a job at that time, and so I just went on a website, and then few job roles were mentioned there. So the first one was front end development. I said, what is this front end development? And then the second was back end development. I had no idea about all these things, and I didn't even know these are coding related things. And this is the day when I'm actually working on it. I'm actually creating front ends, I'm actually creating back ends. It feels great, and there's gonna be a day when I'll actually have a job. I will be creating the software for other people. Sooner or later, I'll make that happen. By the way, the minimum thing right now, and that is simply going through the stuff, and I was just thinking of having a challenge too. I'm not sure how successful that challenge is going to be, but it's gonna be interesting. There should be some interesting things like these many days challenge, and these many days have passed, these many days have been left remaining. So it's gonna be great. By the way, let's simply go through it right now. So why are we using this? Quite easy peasy things, but okay. Some key points, there are some key points. Why are we using it? Let's have TS2. Why are we using this? The reason is gonna be pretty simple. Why do we use Next.js? So there are few points that are important to be there in your mind, and they are these. So this thing is done. Never mind, I'm gonna be going ahead. Next one, recap of data fetching in React. Data fetching in React. That's we are not building a backend yet. Assume you already have this backend. This one code is this, website is this, versal.app. This is the thing that we are getting. That's okay. User card component. Right, we are getting the data. Shared variables, data fetching using use effect, loading render spinner, rendering the card. That's okay. Data fetching happens on the client. That's right, data fetching happens on the client. So first of all, we get empty HTML, then we get JS files, and then we get blocks. As simple as that. Data fetching in Next.js. What time is it? 5:57. Okay. Data fetching in Next. This is you can do the same thing as the last slide in Next.js, but then you lose the benefits of server-side rendering. You should fetch the user details on the server side and pre-render the page before returning it to the user. So ultimately, before returning the main page to the user, I will pre-render it on the server side itself, so that on the client side I just simply get the page. That's it. So it's gonna be like this. Give me user's card page. This is the Next.js server. It will talk to the backend server. It will get it, and then it will return it. Okay, so this is how we create that. nps install axios, clean up page.css, global.css. In the root global.css we have some design in here, right? Yeah, in the root page write a function to fetch the user details, get user details, const response await, something like this. Get it, convert the default export to be an sync function. Yes, Next.js now support the sync components. Okay, so it's gonna be like this. Get user details. In here we are just getting the user details and then awaiting it, then just rendering it. Prefy the UI, you can verify it the way you want. This is not a big problem, and this is how it's gonna look like. Good question to ask at this point. Where is the loader? Do we even need a loader? Even whether we talk about layouts, whether we talk about routes, whether we talk about authentication, whether we talk about loading, everything is handled in a file-based system on Next.js, of course. Loaders in Next. What if the get user details call takes 5 seconds to finish? Let's say the backend is slow. You should show the user a loader during this time. Yeah, then what? Loading.tsx file, just like page.tsx and layout.tsx, you can define a skeleton tsx file that will render until all the async operation is finished. Create a loading.tsx file in the root folder. Export function loading, this loading. If I create a function in the root folder, that means then it will be for all the folders. Okay, let's talk to the perplexity. If I create a loading file in the root, that means it will work for all the pages in Next.js. No, wow. Creating a loading file only in the root does not guarantee a loading UI for all the pages throughout the entire JS app. A loading JS file placed in a folder such as app or specific route segment only provides loading state for that segment or page and its direct children. It does not globally cover all routes automatically in the app. Only route segments with their own loading JS are nested under the segment will be defined. You will show the loading screen. If I create loading.tsx inside app, then won't it work for all the pages inside the directories of app? Let's see. No, straight answer. Creating loading inside the root app directly will not show your loading UI for all pages and routes within the subdirectory automatically. In Next.js app route, the loading TSX file only works within its own segment. So if you place a loading.tsx file in app, it will only handle the loading state for the direct contents of the root segment, not for all subdirectories and nested routes. To have a loading state for all like blog, dashboard, web, etc., you must either add a separate loading.tsx inside each of those subfolders or re-export and import a shared component from each one. There is no built-in inheritance for loading. It does not cascade down to all pages inside. Best if you want a global loader UI, create a shared loading component and export it in every necessary segments loading or whatever. Okay, I thought it could be like that, but it's not. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, enough of listening to the music. Now let's go ahead. Introducing API routes in Next.js. API routes. Okay, mainly let's talk about backend now. Next.js lets you write backend routes just like Express does. This is why Next.js is considered to be a full stack framework. The benefits of using Next.js for backend includes code in a single repo or standard things you get in backend framework like Express server components. You can directly talk to the backend. Yeah, Next.js for the backend. TS2 Next.js for the backend. Benefits ultimately, what else? Benefits. Well, the benefits are pretty much obvious, but it's okay, good to just have them in a single place. Then next, let's move to the backend into our own app. We want to introduce a route that returns hard-coded values for users' details. These are things. Introduce a new folder called API. Add a folder inside a user. Add a file inside route.ts. Get initialize get route. Return this one. Try replacing the API call in page.tsx to hit the URL. Get the URL. Okay, we are replacing it with this. Try. This isn't the best way to fetch data from the backend. We'll make this better as time goes by. Yeah. Front end for signing. Create a app sign up page.tsx. App sign up page.tsx. Import sign up. Wow. From components. Okay, and inside that we are creating the code. Axios. But this is how we are actually getting it. This is going to be a client component. This is a client component, but there is one benefit that this sign up page is actually a static page, and component sign up is a client page. Convert a components sign up to a client page. Use client. Add on click handler that sends post request to user. On click app data we are sending button, we have this, and route the user to a loading page if sign up succeeded. Route the user. On Next.js we say route the user. On React.js we say navigate the user. Route the user to a loading page if the sign up succeeded. If ref succeeded, ref use router. Use router, we have final sign up. So ultimately this is the route that we have, and we are routing it to the home page. We still have to implement the backend route. Let's do that in the next slide. Backend for signing up. Add post route that takes the user's email and password. For now just returns them back. Navigate to this route, initialize post endpoint, Next.js request response. Okay, export async function, request how about this? You may come here, listen to the music, I will keep going through the notes, as simple as that. Why will you spend your time listening to me for no reason, right? Otherwise let it be, whatever I'm gonna be going through, I'll be able to just tell you that too. initialize the post endpoint inside it. Post endpoint inside it request I'm getting here, and the request response, and this is the next response. Well, there's a lot to read about. Let's see what it does actually. Next response, cookies, read or muted set cookies, set some values. Next response is equal to response.cookies.set. Interesting. Cookies are set on the front end side. Okay, get all JSON, next response.json, redirect, next response.redirect. We can actually do it. We can redirect it. Wow. New URL slash URL request. Then okay, there are many things. Rewrite. Produce a response that rewrites process that given URL while preserving the original URL. Next, okay, fine. New headers dot set. Next. Wow, I like it. Happy. Come on, that much is enough. Next, database. We have a bunch of dummy routes. We need to add a data layer to persist data. Adding the Prisma to Next.js is straightforward. Please get a free Postgres DB from the Neon or okay, Neon or Avian. Let's check this thing out. We have a Neon. We've had a Neon so far. There's something called AIVN. Okay, I think this is just like Neon, accept it. Okay, the open source data platform for search databases, the fastest path to production for builders and AI agents. Wow. Why is there a girl? Welcome to Evan Guide. Are you interested? Are you a girl? Just kidding. Okay, let's start free. Let's see how many options we have in here. Okay, let's sign up. I hope it's gonna be free to use, by the way. Continue. And I am done. Email, login to console. One audiobook, something like this. I can just simply log in. Okay, welcome to Avian. How do you, can I skip it? Personal projects. What is your primary goal or need? My primary goal or need. What is your role? Developer. I wanna learn DevOps very soon. Just within a week it's going to start. Welcome to Avian, India. Okay, create Apache character services, explore Avian first. Should I continue? Create services. Okay. Apache, this is the name. Cloud provider, Asia, free trial. Apache Kafka, distributed event streaming platform for high throughput data. Enable disk topics. recommended for high workflows 10 MB greater than 10 MB. We can select right now either Google, Azure, Clean. Let's go with AWS. We can select this thing too. Amazing. Enable this thing. $2,500 USD. 900 this much. After free trial, estimate monthly prices based on okay. Three dedicated virtual machines, 3 nodes, high availability set, automatic failover to secondary node, everything in startup plus read only access to database, standby nodes. Startup, business, tendering, we don't need any one of these. ACI specific, okay. Let's have Mumbai, right, because we are in India. Then create a service and start. We are good at it right now. Connect with wow, Node.js. So we will get something like this. So Kafka, Prisma. Interesting. Let's keep it general. Generally we have this host name. Interesting. Generally we have this port name. We have access key. We have certificate. And then we can get connected. We can cross it. Then we must have schemas. We must have codes. We have nothing. Okay. Overview. Sample data generator. Generate sample data. I would love to. Logistic user activity. Continue. How it works. The schema registry makes you the readable. Blah blah blah. Enable and continue. Okay, we have this data review schema. Confirm it. Review topic and select historic duration of data generation. What? No. Start data stream. Let's see. Open service overview. Sample data producer. I'm just exploring these options. You can also close this wizard and continue using the event. Keep the console open in your browser to continue data generation. Come on, yeah. I'm definitely gonna suffer from sneeze. Okay, data is getting created. Open services. Connectors. Backups. Topics. Tired storage. ACL. Users. Logs. Okay, metrics. Integrations. Overview. Service settings. This site is good. How it works, I still have no idea, by the way, but it is good. VPI event permission, project data insights, integrations and endpoints. Okay, VPS, event log. Okay, services. Collapse. Yay. My organization account, dark mode, like it. Get started. Here we are. Let's go to okay, never mind. For now this much is enough. Maybe in future I will be exploring this AVN. This is kind of a console type something. How about this? Okay, sample data producer. I can cancel it, stop it now. Review message, topics unavailable, rebuilding nodes. We get kind of a virtual machine in here. I have it alone about the post first. Never mind. Let's go ahead. AVN. Then npx install npm init model, create a model, database URL, npx migrate dev name init schema, npx prisma generate, export the body. We got the user, client.user.create we have created, and then signed up, update, get endpoint, get user await client first. We are not doing any authentication yet, which is why we are not returning a JW or setting a cookie here. Guess what? The good thing is that once I have gone through these nodes, I will get half an hour to do what I feel like doing, and that's what I'm waiting for. Breaks are fun. I mean, work is fun too. Breaks are more fun. By the breaks, work should be more fun, but yeah, I like breaks too. So I wanna complete the this section, reading section soon, very soon. Okay, next one, better features. For the root pages, we are fetching the details of the user by hitting an HTTP endpoint. That is true. We are doing that, and this is how we are getting the data on the server side for sure. HTTP localhost 3000/API/user. We are getting the data like this. Next.js, next server. Get user details runs on the server. This means you are sending a request from a server back to the server. Yeah, wow. Get user details runs on the server. This means you are sending a request from a server back to a server. It is like when working with Next.js, you can run the code on the server side, and that server side can send the data to the server like itself. Like there is backend on the server side, there is a front-end code on the server side, like the code of the front-end which runs on the server, so that is also over there. So the server is sending request to the server itself. That server may send the request to a database. That database will respond, then the server would respond to the server which actually sent the request, and then the page would re-render. Better solution. This Prisma client. Okay, I can use Prisma. Singleton Prisma client, Singleton Prisma client. Wow, this is really important when working with this. And I can't generate new instances of Prisma client over and over. That means I need to clear this. Update imports client @DB. It's gonna be something like that. True. And then import Prisma const Prisma client skeleton. We are creating the skeleton like this. Then globally we are defining a Prisma that could be undefined or return this type of thing. Const Prisma is equal to global though this people whatever. Okay, this is something I need to go through it right now. So we are in here. Some key points to remember, and I must have mentioned that thing in here. I haven't. I think 19 I'm talking about. I have already gone through this. That means that's not there. Prisma in Next.js. the process is almost the same. There are just few things remaining. Let's open this first of all. Let's go to projects, cohort, not really. Let's go to yeah, that's actually going to be here. Kirat 19 summary app, to do app. We had to do app in here. Let's open this to do app and have a look at the code. We have this thing in here. We have Prisma 2. It's being migrated to. We must have DB. Don't we have that? We don't really have that. Interesting. Let's do one thing. Let's open that summary. Do we have app? We have source. We have lib. Then we have that db.ts. Interesting. Let's open that. Let's see how well that has been. We have source in here. We have app in here, auth in here, sign in, layout, API. These are the things inside the API. Then we have lib. We have db.this thing. And guess what? There are errors in it. Yeah. In order to make it better, I think the code would be on the on week 18 or something. Let's go to week 18, 18.2, summary app, to do app. I think I should go with to do app. Do I have that app? Lib, yeah, we do have it in here. Okay, so it's time to resolve this, make it better. So we have app in here. Inside app we have lib, we have db.ts. Here we are, and we are getting the errors. The lib can be inside the lib. Let's go to CMS GitHub just for a reference. I will keep it there too. This is really helpful. Let's keep it in here. This is gonna be web bookmark. So we are in here. We have source. Let's click on source. We must have db lib. We have lib in here, and then we have what? Utils.ts. Not really, not this one. Author.ts. I don't even think this one. Then we have db database. Then we have index.ts, and yeah, this is how we are going ahead. Let's see whether with this code I can make the code that I already have better or not. First of all, we are getting this. That's pretty good. The second thing is that Prisma global dot this is equal to Prisma. If that is there, otherwise Prisma client is going to be there. That means either the value of this is in this global, or that I'm already sitting here until unless we are not in production. Otherwise, if we are not setting the value in production, because we will definitely then have to use this value, because in production global dot this is not available. Okay, this has been quite a simple way. Now libdb.ts Prisma. Firstly, I'll write this code in the Prisma. Let's first of all make it better. So this is talking about the error in here. First of all, I don't have type of nodes. Interesting. Never yet expected this thing to happen in here. ls npm install dev dependency @type /node. Hope it's gonna be helpful. Let's see. I have no idea how to copy done. I thought it would take a lot of time. So this thing is done right now, at least. Not really don't need to worry about it. And then let's go ahead. The type of this prisma I need to define it implicitly have any type. Yeah, that means globally I have to define its type. Global prisma, global this as unknown as this, so I can define its type in here. It's better to make it like this for now. First of all, prisma client singleton return type prisma client. What you are actually doing it in here is simple. The const prisma, let's copy and paste in client 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 singleton, that we are creating in here, and we are returning this new prisma client. That simply means next time I need to get rid of this thing in here, I need to write prisma client singleton and just call it in here. This thing is done. Second thing, I need to work on const global for prisma that I have to create, and this is gonna be global only, and global will be as unknown as unknown or something like this, and then it would have the value prisma, that's right, and the type of the prisma is gonna be prisma is skeleton type prisma, and prisma may have the value of the type of it, the value of the prisma. So type prisma client singleton, that's gonna be a return type. And what is the type of prisma client singleton, or it's going to be okay, that's great. So it's gonna be the type of this, okay, and then prisma is gonna be prisma client singleton, or it's gonna be undefined. So ultimately there is global, that is that has the value of this, that is unknown, or this it has the value of this, and then we are going to call global prisma in here. So global dot this, so global for prisma, it should be all right, and here it should be global for prisma, and it should be fine. Okay, so if that is not equals to production, that means global prisma is equal to prisma, I am exporting it to, and const prisma is equal to global prisma, global for prisma dot prisma, I am getting the value from here, otherwise getting the value from the singleton. I am getting creating is link to disable next link, is link disable next link. What does it mean? Never mind. Global for prisma, I am creating it global as unknown as this prisma, and the value of it is in here, something like that, and this is the type of that, and this is how we are gonna be going ahead. This is kind of really important, so we're gonna make it happen like this. Let's do this. Ah, come on. Are you kidding me? Prisma. Okay. Most important. Let's paste it in here. Yes, here. Prisma in Okay, it needs to be like this in everywhere, but okay, let's keep this in. Prisma configuration. How about this? It should work fine. Oh. So this is how we have to go ahead. Why does it look like this? Yeah, it looks better now. Next, what to do? Well, this thing is done, and apart from the CMS website, I have already bookmarked it. And what are you doing here? Update imports of Prisma DB. That's okay, I'll be doing it. I can even get it there. That means once this is done, I'm talking about this one mainly in here. Okay, this much should be fine. Then I'm exporting Prisma from here, and wherever I'm getting it, and I must be getting it in the API, in the routes, and this Prisma. I'm not getting it in here. If I have that Prisma, that must be used in the backend. That can never be used in here, and that is true. That cannot be used in here as well. That means that must be used in the routes, and that's not being used in here. That means there's a problem. Well, I did okay, that is being used here. I'm getting this Prisma from there, and then everything's being used as expected. So this thing is done. The last thing that is don't know what, server actions. Ref. Right now we wrote an API endpoint that lets user sign up. We are getting the data, we are creating the data in the backend, sending the response. What if you could do a simple function call even on a client component that would run on the server, similar to RPC? Right now we wrote an endpoint that lets user sign up. Under the hood, still an HTTP request would go out, but you would feel like you are making a functional call. Steps to follow: create actions, user.ts. You can create in a different folder. Write function that takes username password input. Okay, user await create should add a job order. Return signed up. Update the signup.tsx file. Await sign up. Local storage system. Wow. Ultimate, you are doing the same thing. User.ts, creating a function, user function that should be actually sending use server. On the server side it is happening. We can do the same thing in the same page. Benefits of the server actions: single function can be used in both client and server components. Single function can be used in both client and server component. Gives you types of function response on front end, very similar to gRPC. Can be integrated seamlessly with forms.
Let's take a look at how you can create forms and handle data mutations with the Next.js app router and server action.
Well, there is this video too that I have to watch. Amazing. So this is actually Prisma thing that I have to get done. Let's go a few steps back. Mainly talking about Next.js. Let's go to 19, and then there's this thing. Slash video. Let's embed the link. This is the video that I actually have to watch. Never mind, I'll watch it soon. in the end. That means once this video is left, few things are remaining, like I have to go through video is remaining. Week 19 there is a video. Week 19 there is a waterfall problem. Okay, come on, you've got to be the problem. So these are the two things remaining ones that I have to go through. But before that, I can actually go to week 20 and I have two pages in here. You've got to be kidding me. It takes time, yeah, especially even if you are going through notes and all. Things take time. Okay, what time is it? It's 6:40 around. Don't know how long it's gonna take, even if you are setting goals. Let's do one thing, take a gap of half an hour around, and then I'll be right there. It's already been, how long has it been by the way? 2 hours, and ultimately 2.5 hours because I took breaks in between. By the way, I'll be back after half an hour. Until then, yeah, take care, have a great day ahead, and I'll be catching up soon.